Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 23 of Thessia. Hope you're having a wonderful day. This week we are going to be doing our downtown marina, which is going to be heavily inspired by the Melbourne Docklands. And this is some inspiration courtesy of our wonderful patron subscriber Bad Wolf. Thank you so much for the inspiration, Bad Wolf. Please do keep those Australia suggestions coming down below. We're going to do some terraforming here today. Set up an enormous retaining wall key that holds Eggalade from sliding into the water, alongside some nice terraforming work. So please enjoy, and I'll catch you in the live play. So it's time to get extremely excited, everyone, because look at the layers that are now developing in downtown Thessia, right? We've got this big cutaway that we did a few episodes ago in the stadium, and now we're working with this enormous cutaway down by the marina. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But either way, let's get stuck into it, shall we? So we'll start with some road frame stuff. So we're going to be playing with some assets of the workshop today, which isn't what we usually do. I'm not usually a fan of bringing in workshop assets. I tend to be of the opinion that there's enough within the game now. However, for what we're working with today's inspiration, you'll be seeing it, of course, on our Google Earth inspiration today in Melbourne. We mentioned a big shout out to Bad Wolf as well for posting the video, and I'll actually try and grab the video that she did indeed share. But working with a really fancy marina, there is a lot of very tall modern glass condos today. We will use some vanilla assets. The Green City stuff will work nicely here actually for this. But for the most time, we're going to be using a couple of little workshop condos that we've seen before in Ilos. So we're going to start out with our road hierarchy here, right? We're going to bring this down, and I definitely want a road to also come down this way as well. So let's line that up with our current arterial system here. Let's actually line it up with the key first of all. It's probably a better idea, isn't it? Get the guideline of that key, and then we'll come straight into the road. And then we'll just make sure that this is on the same height as the key nodes. There we go. So eventually we're going to have this key wrap around this corner as well. To totally like create this walkable bendy key that loops all the way up. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be a lot of fun today's build, I think, watching this all come together. So I just want to bring some roads up and around the keys. As we saw in Google Earth, you know, it's all super landscaped around here, very modern, so I want lots of waterfront action. We'll get some marina props in here as well, little boats and whatnot. But for the time being, let's go ahead and place down some of our assets. So these are Smiley's condos. You guys definitely would have seen these before. Some of the most popular assets on the workshop, I believe. And just really nice, right? There's very tall, modern glass buildings like we see in Melbourne. They're going to be a fantastic addition into the skyline, aren't they? Already with 3 of them, having some very modern high-rises over there is appreciated, isn't it? So we'll have a little bit of that, but I would also like to mix and match a little bit of green cities in with them, because I think that we can enjoy this. So let's come into our filters. We'll grab green cities, and one of the thicker flat towers is going to be best, I think. Yeah, one of these. They're a little bit thin there, aren't they? There is a bloody good choice of green cities towers. I do like these assets, but that one will do. Right, and then we can budge that up a tile. So I think a green cities asset would actually be very welcome in and amongst those workshop towers. I hope you agree. Kind of blends in, doesn't it? But giving us that real modern high-rise look again, isn't it? Cool. So let's talk about some unique buildings that are in or going to be included in here. So I want kind of a big feature number up on this corner right here. So let's go ahead and push our terrain back a little bit. Go ahead and slide them off. There we go. And for this one, I'm actually going to use one of the malls. Now, this is a building I don't think I've ever used before. I don't remember using the Grand Mall. Maybe it might have been in Novaria. Can't remember. I'll have to go and check to see if it was. But I believe this building is actually from Sydney in real life. Again, I'll confirm that on screen if indeed it is or not. But as a big, chunky waterfront number, I don't think I can refuse the inclusion of the mall. And orientation, of course, as with everything, is incredibly important. I think exposing the mall side to that and having this as part of our super modern kind of glass building marina is going to be appreciated, isn't it? Could be divisive as well. I'd appreciate why, but as always, please do trust the process, right? We'll get there in the end. So let's bring a little road up here now. And I think we'll switch to some pedestrian action. So let's grab ourselves some bluestone. And we'll feed this straight up into the arterial road. Let's go ahead and drag this node up a little bit to the edge of the building. And bring it down to the same height as the node over here. Okay, cool. Get some trees along here as well. Let's certainly get this road tree lined, for which I think a bit of tree median might be appreciated here in some cases. And in terms of the tree we want, I think a tropical looking palm is going to be favourite, isn't it? Maybe the travellers, we tend to reserve this for nicer areas, don't we? How about we have the traveller's palm here? And then maybe bring it down on this one as well. Not too horrific now, is it? Those trees are starting to get there a little bit. So we do have some pretty intense terrain tearing here, which I don't mind. I don't mind the little layer, but it might want a little key around it. I'll probably test it in the time lapse and see how we feel. But yeah, we'll just sort of see how this develops, I think. Cool. So let's continue talking about the road network frame. So I would love some car parking in here as well. Now let's configure this first of all. So let's snap into our grid and we'll grab our one-sided poorly maintained 16 meter stuff. And then let's leave 2 tiles between the road and we'll do a stretch of 10. Hopefully we can repeat that this side as well. Very nearly. Okay, so let's just reconfigure that. We'll do 8 units and then 8 units in there. Connect both sides with parking not service road. And then we're just going to give these nodes a little kiss with node controller so everyone stretches out and formats how they should be. This is a great little tip that I picked up from FAQS. If you haven't seen it, we want to close up the node here with these roads, and then with the node that is on the parking lot road, so in this case it's blue, I just want to shift that out a little bit until the road lines up with this one. Maybe close it offset by just a 1 meter. Okay, and what that's going to do is going to push the parking out onto the opposite side. Although having said that, we do need to make sure that we draw the road from right to left in order for the driving to be configured correctly. I reckon it's about 2.5 meters, is it? It's going to look pretty sensible. Same thing again here. Close it down to 1 meter, and then we'll do... it's the red node this time, isn't it? So we want to do minus 2.5 meters. So then we'll have that, okay? Go ahead and get your car parking down. Let's go for a couple of disabled spots, and then some classic. And then we just want to grab all buildings and move it. And then just slide those up into position, and then we're just going to have some really cute offset parking here. Really helps differentiate your car park designs if you can do this in node controller. Real big improvement. Again, big shout out to FAQS for that. If you haven't seen her, do go check out her channel. She is a very detailed, very cool, and a very good modded player. So I'll leave a link down below. And then our end result will look something along those kind of lines, and it's a really nice improvement, isn't it? I really love how this looks. So really cool. We'll enjoy this. Let's continue to add some assets in. I want to add some along here, and I think for these purposes, with the very modern glass look that we're going for in this area, is that a little bit of wall-to-wall office would probably be quite welcome. So why don't we have a little play with this? It's going to fit in there perfect there, is it? Love the mural on the back of that as well. It makes it look like a public artwork here, doesn't it? Really like that. Have that. Yeah, a couple of other ones as well. See if we can piece together a pretty interesting office space here. I think that'll do. We've not got a vast amount of office demand, so I don't want to do too much of it. Let's go ahead and get some more of those towers in again as well from our custom selection. Get one of them on the corner here. I think I'm going to hate this on the corner. It's going to be quite nice, isn't it? I love how these buildings stand above the key line. It's going to make it a really interesting part of the city, just driving past all this, I think, isn't it? Especially when we get this landscaped up here. Which, speaking of landscaping, I reckon we could probably do with a fancier road here. I'd love to actually go for the large avenue with bus lanes for this particular part of the city, I think, because we can get some very nice kind of landscaped roads, if you like, with these tree linings. And again, we'll pick a different tree. Let's go for royal palm here. Okay. Even that makes a difference to the build, doesn't it? And I think with this key line, because it is, of course, a walkable content creator key, is we'll just feed everyone through to the pedestrian road crossings with a pathway. And they will end up using it, of course, which will be tremendously exciting for me at least, I hope for you guys as well. So we'll get all these hooked in, and we can probably do some really nice landscape designs as well. And we're also going to save quite a bit of fun for our live streams as well, because we're going to have some fun together designing a park up at the bay here by the ferries. So that'll be a lot of fun. Do hang out for our Thessia streams, if indeed you can make them. They are all on YouTube, by the way. In case you're thinking we use Twitch, we do not. Again, just some sensible crossings where I think we'll need them. Let's go ahead and complete this key line in now. So we'll snap into the grid. That will come just a tile away. Should be enough, I think. Bring it up to the corner. Let's hit that road guideline with a curve tool, probably. And then we just want to catch that guideline of the key. Let that go in. Not all messed up, though, if possible. Let that on back a little bit. That's going to be really cool. We can probably even network multi-slope this key as well if we wanted to just even it out as much as possible. Down to there. There we go. It's a little bit nicer, isn't it? So we will have people walking up and down this now to kind of hopefully come down and around into the marina. It's a very long walk, but maybe they'll do it when there's more things over here. There's not really any point for them to do it right now, but one day they will. And I reckon some we could even turn this into a little bit of a concrete space here, couldn't we? And have some road bollards between here and the sort of the quay. Maybe a little bench planter somewhere where people can sit maybe and enjoy the view over the city and the towers. I think I'll be on board with that, so we'll definitely remember that during our daytime time lapse. And that will certainly get some more parking behind our buildings here as well today. Well, there we go. Right, the parking's getting a little bit of use now. All these very modern glass structures are starting to really blend into the marina. It'll be very exciting, isn't it? We probably do need to bring this bridge up though if we're going to be having kind of yachts and more luxurious private craft moving through here. So I've just been searching for boats, and it turns out that the Hotels and Retreats has actually brought a bunch of new sub-buildings that I have not seen before, which is absolutely wonderful. So we can definitely use some of these instead of always having to head for the workshop for boat props now, which is cool. The steamboat, how does this look? Well, like a steamboat. I don't know what else I was expecting to look like. But what I do want to do is just test the height of the bridge. That's plenty enough, isn't it? Can we get that catamaran style thing back in again? Is his mast going to clear it? No. Not quite, not quite. I need to bring that bridge up a touch more, but we will do. But either way now, let's turn our attention towards some unique buildings that I'd like to include as part of this marina here. So, over here, by these roads against this side of the quay, we're going to be doing something that's a little bit divisive, and we always like to do this on the channel, don't we? You know, find a new idea that we can push the limits of. Not everyone's going to love it, but some people are going to really like it. So just keeping with the theme of modern glass structures, I really like the Grand Library here. Right, fits our criteria near perfectly. Of course, we want to call Bob in to do a bit of work on this, because it's pretty horrendous. So Robert will remove the trees, and he will also get rid of those parking spaces on the front as well. Bye, thank you Robert, it's amazing work as always. Great contractor if you haven't used him. So we'll have this here, right, and bring it up to basically just where I want it. I'm going to duplicate it, right, and we're going to make a very modern structure out of this. So I'm looking to basically align those front walls. You can actually kind of tell, can't you? You know, the front of the Grand Library isn't straight like the other sides of it are. But I just want to align them roughly so they're something like this, and try and hide some windows if we can. Okay, then we have this, and now we can have both structures Of course, they're both missing their connections, but we'll fix this in a second. And then I just want to drag them up to somewhere where they'd fit in. But that there is how the finished fusing will look, which gives it a very super modern, almost like the building itself is like a work of art commission, isn't it? Lots of angles, lots of like modern grey silver panels, glass on it as well. Kind of reminds me a lot of the buildings around Salford Quays in Manchester, if anyone's familiar with the UK city. Okay, so 2 bobbed and fused grand libraries, let me know. I know it's going to be a divisive one, that one. Kind of like the Mireille from this week's Orchid Bay. Maybe you haven't seen that. But very fun, right? Very fun. So I'll leave you with that image there. Make your minds up on it. Let me know what you think of it. But it is going to be residing here. And I think, again, another good call for a waterfront building would be, even actually the University of Technology would be great down here. A lot of these modern schools would also be really cool, although I'm pretty sure we're sorted for schools, aren't we? We could do with a modern high school. I might work that up around here, actually, maybe a creative arts institute. But another thing I do want down here is going to be some university unique buildings. So we used the... Which one even was it? I can't remember what it was called now. School of Science, was it? Yeah, School of Science we used over here. And of course we always love these university uniques. We've also done the School of Environmental Studies over here as well. This is a great looking asset, isn't it? Have this one there. So definitely something I want to bring over to the environment here as well. I think the School of Tourism and Travel is going to be the most appropriate building here. It's going to fit pretty much perfectly within our parameters. So I think in terms of the university unit building we're going to use, I'm actually feeling the School of Engineering here, which is possibly my favourite asset in the game. I absolutely love this. Got lots of modern glass all over it, kind of that grey modern panelling like the Grand Library has over here as well. And has these little skywalks in it. Super modern looking asset, isn't it? The engineering school. And it's going to sit actually quite nice in the back of the road here, because once we come in with our simple seawall key, which we will right now, let's have this run basically just along the pavement. We're up to about there. A bit of surface painter there as well will help where we have the crack, just to fill that in. There we go. And then hopefully, once we get down the street level, we'll see that building quite nicely integrated onto the street, won't we? Very impressive drive-by here as you're coming on the road, isn't it? And you sort of swoop around, and then the Egglade skyline reveals itself. It's a really super chunky building to sit within the Marina scape itself, isn't it? Really impressive. Love campus buildings. Really makes the DLC worth getting if you don't have it. Love campus. Really good deal. Really good pack. And then I think also, because we have the area here, some of the other university assets, things such as, but not limited to, the Media Lab would also be very welcome here, just for more modern glass structures. It's also going to help satisfy a little bit of education demand as well, even though I am going to reco these buildings, but you can leave them in as university ones if you wanted to. So let's do the School of Engineering. We will reco this, so let's add a local save onto it. We want it to be residential, and this is a big building, so let's go for 500 people. We're not using realistic population, and that should be a bit of alright when we come to click back into it. It's now a residential building that holds 500 people. And I guess we could do the same with the Media Lab, and we could reco the Media Lab as well. Love as well now we're going to get these little combined walkable alleyways here too, with all the stairs and whatnot when you add buildings together like this. Very nice sort of inner city designs, isn't it? Yes, boys. Do we want to reco the Media Labs? I mean, I guess we're going to have to, because we're not having the main building here, so it's going to start whinging eventually. So I guess we will do that then. Let's go ahead and reco this. We will also ask this to be a residential, but not as big as the other one. Let's maybe go for half the size. Again, no realistic population mod. Save and apply those changes, and this should now be a residential building. We can delete the school and also the campus area as well now. Cool. I'm not sure where we're going to do our campus area yet for downtown Thessia. There is some big spaces still available for a campus. I know there is one in Adelaide. It's kind of over this side of the city. Maybe kind of these spaces here. Maybe like a beachfront campus might be really cool, maybe against the culvert system and the beach here. Let me know if you'd like this to be a campus one day. But we also have this space as well just outside of Canberra as well, don't we? We can maybe do a campus here. But not sure, let me know where you think would be a good spot for Thessia's campus. Either way, I'm very happy with the addition of those buildings into the waterfront there. Right, look at that side of the building now, or that side of the quay and the pier. Very extravagant, isn't it? Very much like we're seeing in Melbourne. Lovely stuff. Cool, so I think it'd be a missed opportunity to not include a hotel in here as well. Now, if there is a hotel to include, it's got to be the boat hotel, hasn't it? I guess we could also do the ocean resort. Not here. We will do the ocean resort, but not in this particular spot. City hotel would also work, but I think just because we're in the marina and we're having a lot of fun here, boat hotel has to be the answer, doesn't it? Well, we'll see, because that is not the answer in that current state. So we're going to have to raise that up to get the pier out of the water, aren't we? So it still floods a little bit there, doesn't it? That's not too bad. We're going to have to rethink the road network around here, though, so let's just get rid of this for right now. We're going to move the boat hotel up this way. And I don't really want it blocking the entrance to the marina. Of course, they've got plenty of room to get out of here. Is that going to be alright? I think it is. Although its connection is going to have to be somewhat configured though. I'd always prefer a pedestrian connection here. Can we do network multi-unlock to actually get rid of the segment entirely? And then replace that with a pedestrian pathway? Is the game going to be okay with this? Let's just go for a regular bluestone one. Turn off all our snap in here as well so we can replace the connection like that. Yes, we will give you a pedestrian area at some point, don't worry about that. Let's relock the segment. And then can we just come into the end of this road? I know this is a cul-de-sac design, but I'll probably end up changing it anyway. And then can we just have that as an access down onto the marina? I hope we can. And then, speaking of, let's just sort out this horrendous end node for this road now. Now we know what's going to happen with it. I did like the cul-de-sac design initially, but now that this has come into play, I prefer this one. Let's have that one up to there. We will use that pedestrian road to hook into the end of the road there. Okay, we can maybe do some fun designs here with no controller at some point. Let's bring this road back along the waterfront, just to the edge of the quay here, where this little walkway comes down. And then, can we do that same connection back onto the road? Is that going to be alright? Not too bad. It might want a bit of intersection marking tool. I wonder if we could do the filler with intersection marking tool here. If we change these out to props, and then we'll search for a little concrete steps that we've got off the workshop. We're going to rotate them by 90 degrees. And change their offstep until they're pretty close together. Of course, absolutely love doing this. Best feature of IMT by a mile. And then we want to shift them so they're in line with the edge of the texture, something like that. Are we happy with this? And then we can have it as a staircase. We guess we could actually leave one as like a disabled ramp. It's a pretty steep disabled ramp though, isn't it? You would probably actually carry on into the water should you take that on in a wheelchair. But I can definitely appreciate the value of stairs coming into the build here. Okay, then we can just have this bit end over this way. The road. I think we'll go with that. I don't think we're going to hate it. It does allow us to actually introduce the boat hotel into the marina, which is a very cool addition and something I'm quite happy with. And in terms of, I really don't care about this kind of stuff, but it does want shopping nearby. Which I guess is okay. We can probably get some shopping in here if we want to. Go ahead and re-upgrade those palms as well. Cool, so let's have a little look at our marina now, right? These nice modern condos, lots of glass, modern buildings over here, palms and grand malls, some cute parking designs, modern office space, high-rise apartments / condos. Very fun little modern city marina here, isn't it? Really coming together. But I'm enjoying the way the boat hotel's sat at least. It'd be fun to see if we could actually have some pedestrian roads knocking about in this space over here, but I think I'd probably prefer to keep it as park path, I think, to be honest. But either way, with a good chunk of our main assets down, it now feels like a good place for a detailing time-lapse. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just change up the trees here, bits of surface painted between quay and road where we need it. There is actually quite a lot of cute little green spaces been saved in Melbourne around these kind of buildings, so I think that's what we will do. We'll get some more parking, probably along this main road here. We do already have public transport arranged. There's a metro station here too, plus the bus is passing right by here. So we might actually just bring the bus off and round this way. It might be a good shout actually. Have it actually come down as this little peninsula. Where are you going? So you come down this way. So on your way out of the city, come and stop here. And then likewise as this one comes back into the city. Oh, that's a tram line, isn't it? Okay, yeah, we obviously can't move that one down. That's fine. But they are stopping nearby, right? Yeah, the stops here. That's going to be fine. Definitely want this one linked into the park network via pathway. It's going to be a good shout here, isn't it? And it will get people on these quays as well, I imagine. And also coming down onto the new hotel as well, which would be great. You do want a pedestrian area, I understand that, don't worry. We do have one nearby actually, so... Are you flooding again? Oh no, why? You okay? You were fine a minute ago. What's wrong? It has to be lifted up real high to stop it flooding, doesn't it? And even then it still floods. I really want this to work. But of course there's only so much height I can give to it because of the way it snaps in. I'll sort that later. I will find a way to get this to fit. Seems to be pretty intermittent flooding, I guess. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'll have to sort that out. But yes, lots of parking, detailing, little plaza spaces to get involved with here as well outside the mall. I think I'm feeling a multi-storey car park in here as well, maybe behind the quays here, might be quite fun. And I think I'm going to change this road out as well for some of our on-street parking roads that we've used before in Sentinel. But either way, and yeah, of course, lots of piers as well. We're going to get some pier props and some boat props that basically replicate the piers and marinas that we see in Melbourne. So it should be a lot of fun. Either way, let's detail up the Melbourne-inspired Dockland, shall we? And we'll be right back. Okay guys, let's now have a walk around my new favourite part of Thessia, because I really enjoy this whole marina. It turns into a really fun space. So down in the grasslands behind the condos, we've got some park space, bit of volleyball, skate parks, places to chill, ice cream to eat, etc. Places to park, really fun times to be had down here. Heading onto the main waterfront, we'll find some more parking next to our fused grand libraries. So this is now the final position of them. Let me know what you think. Are they alright? Do they work? Is it too much? Let me know what you think of the fused grand libraries. I'm a big fan of them. I really like how they sit here as part of the waterfront. Now this view in particular is something else, isn't it? really nice. Yes, so come down onto the marina. We do have some boats waiting at our docks. Different types of boats as well. Steamboats, speedboats, there's houseboats on here. Sort of fishing boats as well, really cool. The boat hotel does periodically flood, but for 99% of the time it's alright. So I'm happy with it here. There are people staying here and walking all around the quays too. Our School of Engineering is also in here now as well, alongside the media labs in this whole area. All the layers here just came out really nicely. Look at this as well, like building fusing into the quays that run around the side of the buildings, and then you're kind of walking along the building here, and then you kind of peer over the quay and see, you know, another layer of downtown that comes through here. So all the layers that we've factored into downtown Thessia are now really coming into play when we see cross sections like this, you know, really cute. So really happy with this side. As we pan around, we've placed the parking on the road with, well, placed the road with parking. I really like these roads, the same ones that we used over in Sentinel. Which, you know, it's been a while, hasn't it? So let's have a little pop over and just show off that example. We've not been to Sentinel for a little bit in the episodes. Right, here we go. That's all its IMT loads in. But same roads we got here, but this time we're actually using the angled parking for it. So really love these roads, happy to use them when we come across them in Thessia. They are really sweet. So we got these in here. Various different types of fusing and finagling for different Green Cities assets to get them into various different positions, and all came out really nicely. This is a really great fuse in here, isn't it? The mirrored Green Cities towers, that came out super nicely, slightly wider than the rest of them. Different shapes on the workshop assets. This view in particular is just really nice as well, isn't it? Just love that view. Very organic part of the city, I think this one. Doesn't really look too staged, if you know what I mean. More Marina Spices down here, where we do have our Grand Mall that has been fleshed out with just some basic open concrete texture plazas. Some King Leo's shopping mall in here as well. Which was really nice. Walks all the way back through onto the marina. What a great walk down, right? We kind of passed all this luxury shopping, and then you get out here and you can hit the cafe on the waterfront. Sort of grab a bite to eat here, like this guy is. Really sweet, right? Really nice place to come and chill for the day. Ice cream over there, you know. You can visit all these modern structures and open buildings, you know, whatever they are. Guys can decide. And then up above on our little tiered quay, which we did end up using a key down here. Also, shout out to the service painter work to help create this little delivery alleyway. Turned out really nicely, didn't it? We've done some manual bus plaza turnaround stuff here. Using IMT, of course, to just let the buses feed down. We'll hopefully see a bus turn up while we're over this side of the city. But more condos up here, various different shapes and sizes. Also a vanilla asset in as well, which turned out really nicely. And you can see, right, a lot of people getting off those trams now, walking down into our delicious marina, which is so exciting to see. They're also taking the pedestrian entrance here too, onto that waterfront. We're going to have to pretend this is a bridge, or at least a tunnel, because they are walking through the iron, but you can forgive that, right, just for a little bit, pretend it's a tunnel they're passing under the boardwalk. But yeah, just the whole space turned out really nice. I'm super happy with it. So here's one of those buses now, really cute. Thoroughly enjoyed this bit of IMT, and that nice little bit of cracked paint here as well to go along with it, right? Always happy to find an excuse to use that feature. And tons of people walking on this outside quay as well, and all the way around it, just absolutely crazy. Really like how all this turned out down here. Really nice addition into the city, isn't it? You see down there as well into all the park space beneath. Really cool. And then further across, we've also just moved our Aussie football pitch back, added in a bit of commercial around the back of the residential, and then also just lots of little pathways meandering around to the quays and the roads and transport hub. It's just, it's absolutely crazy. I really can't wait to just keep building out the side of the city. Furthermore, we're going to bring bus through here as well, because we also have metro in this direction as well. But it's very likely whatever build ends up occupying these spaces against the riverbank will include some kind of bus metro hub, because we will have both of the lines converging there at some point, so lots more walkability, but tremendously happy with today's Marina build. A really nice addition into downtown Thessia, and I hope you have all enjoyed it. But otherwise, guys, that is going to do it for today. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, likes, comments, and shares below really do help me out. Equally as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. As I mentioned, and you've heard me fawn today, really enjoyed Thessia's downtown. As always, I can't wait to get stuck into this city every week. Just so much to build and so much inspiration to take from Australia. And a big shout out again to Bad Wolf. Please show us some love down in the comments below for her videos and suggestions of using the Melbourne Docklands as inspiration for building Thessia. We finally managed to do it, so thank you for showing it off. Really appreciate it, Bad Wolf, a hero of the people. Please do enjoy your cinematics, but I'll shut up and leave it there. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.